Yeah, so like, what if you just get cornered in a back alley by a bunch of fat guys with umbrellas?
Fat guys with umbrellas, you'll run.
Yeah, TF2 Classic is a thing now. Let's talk about it. So yeah, TF2 Classic is a pretty old project, and after 4 years, there is finally an update out. So that's what I'm going to be talking about, because previously it was really just a recreation of 2007 initial release TF2. Death and Taxes Day 1. Today was all about the civilian, or rather the VIP game mode. Basically just escort, red team tries to kill him. You get the idea. We got 3 maps as well. They're decent. I think the game mode performs pretty well. I'd say the civilian might want to just do more damage, especially when you're using him outside of the VIP game mode. He just, at the current state, he really just cannot defend himself. The other problem I've had is that people just aren't working together, though it's not really an issue with the game itself. And I'm just seeing the civilian just run in front of everyone and die. It's, okay, not gonna lie, it's pretty funny, but it's not exactly how it should be seriously played. And, speaking of serious play, I'm not sure exactly at the moment how viable this game mode will be competitive-wise. We're just gonna have to wait and see for that, obviously. But yeah, it is pretty fun in a casual setting. I don't really play competitive, so I don't really have anywhere to speak from there anyway. But yeah, that's pretty much it for day 1. Onward.
Nip, nip.
Day 2 is all about weapons, old and new. We're starting off with the old scrapped weapons from the original Team Fortress 2 that were brought back to Team Fortress 2 Classic. Alright, so let's just go down the list. Alright, first up, the nail gun. This was originally intended to be the Scout's primary before being replaced with the scatter gun. It's basically in practice a syringe gun, but for Scout. And I mean, I could say it's decent, but I mean, it just, compared to the damage output of the scatter gun, it just, I don't know, it really doesn't fit the current Scout all that well. I mean, you've seen how the syringe gun performs on when a medic tries to defend himself, so imagine that, but on the Scout, it doesn't go that well. If I were to improve that, I'd really just up the damage per nail a little bit. Yeah, so out of 5, right now I'd give it only a 2. Though, yeah, if they were to up the damage, that'd definitely raise to a 3 or maybe even 4. Next up, the Dynamite Pack for Demo Man. This was originally the secondary and was replaced with the sticky bombs. So yeah, it's basically just a grenade that splits into 4 smaller bombs. It does a ton of damage, actually, and it's very good for close quarters crowd control, obviously. And, however, it's actually amazing for destroying sentries, like, better than sticky bombs. So, that's a pretty notable thing. If I were to rate this one, I'd give it a 4 out of 5. It's just a fantastic weapon. If I were to change something about it, though, make it glow a little brighter. It does a little already, but not enough. It's just still a little hard to see, especially for red. So the main thing that holds it from being a 5 out of 5 for me is that you literally just cannot jump from it. You will instantly die. So yeah, it takes quite an important ability out of Demo Man's arsenal. Well, I think it's decent at recovering from that. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Next up, the Trank Gun for Spy. It is a primary, what I'm showing right now. On hit, it not only color blinds them, which makes it impossible to tell which team is which, it provides a sort of stun grenade effect. Overall, I think it is decent. My only issue is that obviously it only has 1 round before you gotta reload it, and it's a little bit difficult to aim. It actually fires a slow-moving projectile. Well, I suppose not that slow. It's pretty fast for a projectile, but even still, I mean, it's not hit scans. But yeah, once you do hit an enemy, it's pretty easy to get the kill, or, you know, let your team do it for you. They get Spy more into the active fight instead of, you know, going behind for snipers and stuff. I'd say I rate this a 3 out of 5. It's pretty decent. Though, as a spy, you should be pretty aware that you're not going to have a reliable source of damage at all. So, yeah, there's absolutely no way you're fighting back if you get noticed. The, fish whacker. Okay. Melee for sniper, and, as for what it does, Tribalman Shiv plus Fan of War? I mean, I guess that's alright. Yeah, I mean, in practice, it does pretty well as a sniper melee. It's not at all a meme weapon. Yeah, so pretty good. That's gonna be a 4 out of 5 for me. It's just overall pretty legit. Though in reality, it's nothing too revolutionary for the sniper. So yeah, that's what's keeping it from being a 5 out of 5. But yeah, I got nothing else to say. That's the end of the old weapons then. Okay, here we go. Brand new weapons. These don't have like any history. They're just added like any old TF2 update. So let's go. The hunting revolver, a bit of a strange primary for the sniper. It really just turns the sniper into a more mobile class, though its downside is doing less damage and being harder to hit shots at longer ranges due to the lack of a scope. So yeah, overall, I think it's a bit of a nice, refreshing addition to Sniper's arsenal. We've never really seen any sort of thing like it, so 4 to 5. I think they should add just some sort of aiming assistance. That would just be a slight improvement. But yeah, other than that, it's fine. And like I said, it's pretty good as a sniper primary. Pretty refreshing. Or, maybe I just fucking suck. That's another possibility. The mine layer, a secondary for demo that lays proximity mines instead of sticky bombs. These will automatically detonate when enemies step near on them. I think it's pretty cool as a weapon. It has fair downsides for what it does. Also, you can still jump with this one. You can step directly on your own mines and they will detonate. It's a little harder to control your jump, obviously, because the detonation is automatic. You can't time it. So yeah, 4 out of 5 once again. It's overall just a pretty good replacement for a sticky bomb launcher, and my only issue is that it is a little bit weak on offense, though this does seem to be kind of an inherent issue with the weapon idea itself, so I don't know if there's a way to fix that. This could just be, I don't know, switch to it when you're on defense or something. Yeah, next. The shock therapy, a melee for medic that allows you to heal your teammates to max health by hitting them with it. The cooldown for this will also affect the amount of damage you deal to enemies. I personally don't really find myself using that heal mechanic much. It crits while in water though, so it's kind of huge because medic shark is now a thing, and that scares me. It scares me a lot. So yeah, 3 out of 5. It looks entertaining to use, though. Yeah, once again, its main mechanic, I think that might go a little underused. That's it. Medic sharks, oh fuck. The coil gun, a secondary for engineer. That is a pistol that allows a charged up shot that can bounce off walls. It's a little bit hard to aim, I'll say that. Other than that, it's alright. I feel like the charge shot could do a little more damage. I mean, yeah, it's a coil gun. I mean, you don't have yourself a handheld Misaka Mikoto here, but it's still decent. Only a 2 out of 5, honestly. I just don't find it too useful in comparison to the good old pistol. So yeah, that's it for the new weapons. So you may have noticed I actually left one of the old weapons out. And there's a reason I saved it for last, so I'm gonna get to that now. The RPG, a early version of the current soldier's rocket launcher. This thing is fucking amazing. The rocket has like a really dramatic arc, which makes it impossible to use at long range, though at short and medium range it does a lot of damage. It's still extremely viable for rocket jumping. It's pretty much the direct hit, rewarding you for, directly hitting people with a lot of damage and punishing you for missing your shots with a smaller clip. So yeah, 5 out of 5. I do not need to say anything more. It is just fantastic to play with. And yeah, I've easily spent the most time on this out of everything in this update. So, alright, we've ended on a high note. That is the end of the weapons and day 2. So I guess it's time to move on.
Nip, 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 nip.
Day 3. This day was all about the Domination game mode. It's King of the Hill, but multiple points, I guess. Yeah, I'd say plays pretty well. It's got a few maps, so let's check those out. First up is Oil Canyon. It plays decently, and it definitely looks the part. I'd say they like the background with the big mountains right there in the background. It looks pretty good. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about the map. So now we have the main hype point of day 3, and that is the green and yellow teams. Yeah, that's right. 4-team games is going to be a thing. So yeah, the next 2 domination maps will be featuring 4 teams. As for the teams themselves, I think they look pretty good in terms of like sort of the color choice. The green team might want to be a little bit darker. I found it at long range. It's a little hard to see the difference between the two. The yellow team, though, when we're on it, it seems to it gets pretty hype. I think over at Site 19, they're hearing us yelling "Piss Gang" and thinking it's the sequel to D-Boys. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. On to the next 2 maps. So our first 4-team map and last domination map is Hydro. Oh shit. Yep, it's back. And now you have 4 teams in it. That's it's just yeah. It's Hydro, though slightly improved. I'd say it's definitely the weakest of the 3 maps introduced today. It's the only issue with it is just that it's still a complete maze. I have no idea where I'm going, just like the original. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Next up. Okay, so lastly, we have an arena map with 4 teams now. Flask. It's just a standard barn-ish map. Visually, it doesn't look too special, except I do like how they did the buildings that are supposedly owned by the green and yellow teams. I think they definitely fit. It's very open. It's not as much of a maze of buildings as it is just an arrangement of buildings. Very natural looking. I'd say it looks like a Call of Duty map, like a Modern Warfare 2 ish, which I don't really have. That's not really a positive or a negative. It's just kind of there. But yeah, it plays well. So yeah, and that's it for day 3, I guess.
Ta la 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 la, ta la la la.
Okay, final day. The update actually released on this day. Oh, also, yeah. Like it says here, we got a few more things to talk about, and they're actually pretty significant. So let's get into that. Okay, so first we have an extra map for VIP, and it's actually a modification of Badwater, which I think is pretty cool. Badwater is a great map in itself, and I find it actually works pretty well with the civilian, as I guess he's sort of a payload, except he can go wherever he wants. Yeah, I don't have much to say about this other than, yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. So now we have some weapons that were already in base TF2 that have been brought back for the Death and Taxes update. First, we have the Kritzkrieg, which is exactly the same as normal. It has a bit of change to the model, though. Also, its beam, it looks a bit cooler, in my opinion, being like an actual laser instead of just the medi beam that we're used to. The Uber Spritz is literally just a reskin of the Uber Saw, so that's cool. We have the Uber Saw in this. Well, I mean, fuck the new melee then. That's like going down the drain, because, the Uber Saw is the Uber Saw. The Huntsman's back. It's the Huntsman. That's basically it. Yay. More hitbox bullshit. We got the flare gun, which honestly I would have preferred the detonator for the jumping aspects, though. I mean, just having the flare gun is pretty cool, and I guess the basic one is kind of essential if you're gonna add any flare gun. The gunboats are back. I should note they are for Demo Man 2 as well, being a primary, which, I mean, that should have just been a given in base TF2. I don't know why. Like, I understand the whole war update thing, but that's just, yeah, I don't know. I think it would have worked really well in the demo, man, and it's good to see that it is actually a thing now. And lastly, we have the sandwich, which, yeah, it's a given. You really need the sandwich for heavy. I think that's more just a requirement than anything. It's so established at this point of heavies using sandwiches instead of shotguns. I imagine the shotgun's gonna be used more because we only have the basic sandwich, but yeah, that's it. We got a few medals for people who contributed different amounts to the mod. I'm kind of useless, I didn't do anything, but yeah, that's that. Yeah, well, apparently we got some more intelligent bots as well. So playing like single player as practice is actually kind of viable now. So I'm actually kind of excited about that. Hopefully they work as they say they will. And the last thing is 15 new achievements that are all related to things that were added in this update. So now, you know, it just feels a little more TF2. So yeah, that is the conclusion of the final day, and really the entire update. It is pretty good, and you can go play it now. So, that concluded my initial thoughts on the Death and Taxes update for Team Fortress 2 Classic. Though, I named this video for a reason, so, here's some more bullshit from me playing it.
Get back, Charger!
That demo didn't have a very good time.
I should not be wasting myいきなり吹っ飛ばされているバカだ
Oh god, I've been betrayed. I'm dead.
The sniper is a spy!
Alright, who wants to have like a suicide?
Civilian Dolphin.
Yeah, that's it. Alright, everyone get on the ledge. Alright, kill yourself in 3, 2, 1, go, die. Perfect.